Hello, it's time for another edition of Power Wheel. This is an initiative of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to inform the public on efforts at improving the grid and ultimately power supply. I am Sheung Olagunju. You're welcome. The new managing director of the Communauté Électrique du Bénin, CEB, a power utility responsible for the transmission, importation and generation of electricity in Benin and Togo republics, Mr. Karimu Chabisika, was in Nigeria with his team on a courtesy call to the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, reiterating their commitment to the bilateral relationship on adequate and improved power supply and finance.
TCN's MD CEO, Usman Gor Mohammed, in his welcome address, appreciated the visitors, congratulating the new CEB MD on his appointment. He disclosed some efforts TCN is putting in place in ensuring that the bilateral agreements with Benin and Togo are adhered to.
I want to tell you that we are working hard to stabilize the grid on this side. So far now, we have raised about $1.5 billion to invest in the grid, and we are also working to sustain the SCADA to make it work. In the medium term, we are also studying the grid to look at some parameters that will make us the grid. So these are some of the things we are doing to ensure that we are responsible.
The CEB MD, who spoke through TCN in-house interpreter, appreciated and congratulated Mr. Usman Gor Mohammed on his recent appointment as TCN MD CEO and chairman of the West African Power Pool WAP. He disclosed their mapped-out plans in constructing a new 330 kV line into Nigeria that will improve power supply to the north-south of Benin Republic.
I came here as a leader representing Benin and Togo because we always feel at home whenever we're in Nigeria. And the support we are having from Nigeria is welcoming.
Nous sommes dans le cadre du WAP en train de construire la ligne 330 kV pour relier le Ghana au Nigeria à travers
WAP. We are thinking of constructing a 330 kV line that will connect Ghana to Nigeria.
By Benin and Togo.
The head TSP, TCN, Engineer Tom Owa, acknowledged the mutual understanding between TCN and CEB over the years and assured of TCN's assistance in achieving his mandate.
The robustness of our grid can only improve when we are able to synchronize properly. So we'll support every effort that we are making to correct the frequency issues and the integration of the West African sub-region.
My main concern as operator is this frequency issue. So we are going to stabilize the frequency as much, starting from the next 22nd of this month.
We are humbled by the fact that you acknowledge the role we play. But speaking from the finance point of view where I stand, I would urge you to please continue to make your payments on time.
The market operator, Mr. Saliman, said that as much as TCN is a mutual relationship with Benin Republic, they should be mindful of the fact that the sector has been privatized. Therefore, payment ought to be made on time.
Right now, we are actually in arrears of payment. CEB is in arrears of payment for almost a year. And specifically, it's about $80 million in arrears. The last payment we received from CEB was about December 2016. So very soon, very soon, we need to probably have a meeting on how this payment will be made.
The electricity market operator, an arm of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is the administrator of the Nigerian electricity market. It registers all market participants and ensures that the market is operated in a transparent and efficient manner. Power Wheel's Clement Ezeolisa spoke with the Nigerian electricity market operator, Mr. Moshood Saliman.
Market operator in Nigerian electricity market
to perform many roles, among which are to guarantee efficient, transparent, non-discriminatory wholesale services to participants. Also, they are to develop an efficient and competitive market in Nigeria. They are to arrange and make sure they become a sort of market that can key in into regional market too. Then we also have the role of market operator as to implement the market rules. The market rules under the Power Reform Act 2005, they are the working documents of a market operator, and all these rules are actually stated there. Just like the name implies, market is the place where you have buyers and sellers. That is, you buy and sell. And the commodity involved here is electricity. So the market is to buy and sell electricity in Nigeria. That is why it's called electricity market. Although we have different types of market, we have a monopoly market, we have oligopoly, we have competitive market. We are moving from monopoly market, which was what we had before the Power Reform Act, to competitive market. Even though we are not there, we are moving to that point. Generally, we have disregard for market rule because we have a discipline in the market. We have general discipline. Until we have more commitment from the stakeholders, everybody or every stakeholder must be able to comply with the market rules. These are the rules guiding the market as signed by Mr. President. So these rules are to make sure that everybody try to perform its rules accordingly. So for right now, we have a general discipline, there's no commitment, and that's why we have everybody having this regard for rules in the market. But with time, NEC and MO, we're going to ensure that people comply with the market rules. Generally, we don't have any conflict of rules between market operator and NBET. MO is generally the administrator of electricity markets in Nigeria, while NBET is like intervention agency to improve liquidity in the market, is the uptaker of GENCOs, and to ensure that whatever liquidity challenge we have in the market, they're able to come in and bring in more money for everybody to make whole. So we don't have any conflict. The only aspect that we have similarity is just the aspect of payment, which actually NBET is doing just for a while. That is to make sure that all the GENCOs, they are paid according to their contract, and they are supposed to phase out after a while. Right now we collaborate, we exchange ideas and make sure things work in Nigeria. That has been a challenge because we have the general liquidity challenge in the market for now, but the government is doing what it can to improve that. For MO is to ensure transparency and enforce discos to pay more money. NEC is trying to ensure that people comply and they bring out orders for stakeholders, especially disco, to bring more money in the market. In fact, NEC has gone as far as checking their books, disco's books, to make sure that any money they receive, they revenue to the market. And for federal government, you must have found recently that we have this 701 billion naira that government is trying to provide to improve liquidity in Nigerian state market. So all these things are what is going to make sure that we move from where we are to a more liquid market, and the market will going to grow. For market operator, we want this market to grow, develop to competitive market to the extent that in a very short while, when we get to medium term, we can have exchange market like we have the Grand Stock Exchange. It's very important because this one will even provide more employment opportunities for Nigerians. That's where we are going, and definitely we get there very shortly.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Saliman, for having us.
Okay.
You're watching Power Wheel, and we appreciate you staying with us. The program continues shortly. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has increased transformer capacity in its Ajah substation with additional 60 MVA, bringing the substation capacity to 220 MVA from 160 MVA, even as ongoing works to bring back to service another 60 MVA power transformer in the substation has reached advanced stage. The installation of additional 60 MVA 132-33 kV mobile power transformer in the substation was informed by the need to meet the increased bulk electricity demand by the Eco Distribution Company, arising from the growing number of electricity consumers in the Ajah axis of Lagos State. With the installation, TCN can now wheel more bulk electricity through the station to distribution load centers in Ajah, consequently increasing available power supply for distribution to electricity consumers in the area. TCN is committed to working with other stakeholders in the sector towards the growth and expansion of the power industry and improved power supply to Nigerians. The Managing Director of the Omotosho Power Company, Engineer Samuel Ishekiri, has commended the federal government for the steps being taken to address the gas and liquidity challenges, as well as resolving the community issues affecting the performance of the power plant. Engineer Shakiri said this during a visit by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who was at the Omotosho Power Plant during his tour of projects in the Southwest Zone. Engineer Ishakiri said the power plant located at the Omotosho Forest Reserve in Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State was commissioned on the 17th of April 2007, privatized on November 1, 2013 to Pacific Energy Company Limited, and is an open-cycle gas turbine power plant with a capacity of 335 megawatts.
They are all fully operational. We had gas constraints, but with the intervention of government in recent times, there has been a serious improvement. We were doing just 1 unit before, now we're doing up to 3 units, and it's improving, it's going in.
He said gas was one of the major constraints of their operations and thanked the minister for his efforts at addressing it.
At the time I came in here, we were doing about 315, now we're doing about 287, right? 290, yeah, because of the frequency, but we have 3 units on at base load.
Earlier, while speaking with the staff of the company and members of the Omotosho community, Mr. Babatunde Fashola disclosed that the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, NDPAC, has assured that the community would be hooked onto power.
When you are generating power to a grid, everybody who is taking from the grid for distribution, there has to be simulation. You have to nominate where you want the power delivered. Now, if there are problems, like you have a faulty transformer or a feeder or whatever, there has to be also a process to ensure that that power is not lost.
The NDPAC constructed a 33 kV distribution line from the power plant substation to the Omotosho community. However, it could not be connected because of concerns that distribution faults arising from the line as a consequence of abnormal load connections could damage the power transformer in the power plant substations, which will adversely affect the power plant itself. He, however, explained that while the turbines have been fully repaired, they, like the generators, needed fuel, which in this case is gas. Fashola commended the President, the Vice President, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the Group Managing Director, NNPC, and all those who are involved in producing and supplying gas, all the private investors, as well as the National Assembly for their efforts. Contrary to reports in some sections of the media painting a cat-and-mouse relationship between operators of the 3 components of the electricity supply chain in the country, the operators do work in synergy and meet from time to time to work out areas of differences and modalities on overcoming the challenges facing the power sector. One of such meetings held at the headquarters of TCN at the instance of the MD CEO, Usman Gur Mohammed. The TCN MD assured the DISCOs that TCN will continue to work with them and the GENCOs to overcome challenges in the sector for the provision of adequate power supply to Nigerians. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, says one of the best ways to handle the issue of metering electricity consumers in the country was to unbundle metering from the distribution companies, as they seem not to have the capacity and finance to invest in the project. The Vice Chairman of NERC, Engineer Sanusi Garba, gave this indication while discussing on the topic improving collections from the regulatory standpoint at the April edition of the Next Year Power Dialogue.
Engineer Garuba further explained that the intention of the Commission within a very short time is to come out with a framework whereby new set of licensee will be allowed into the market to deal solely in meters.
Going forward, the Commission has resolved that it will unbundle metering from distribution business. We believe that is one of the best ways to handle the issue of metering. Metering requires huge investment in terms of the finances are required. And we do realize that the DISCOs may not have the capacity to do that. So it is the intention of the Commission within a very short time to come out with a framework whereby new set of businessmen or licensees, if I can call them, will be allowed to come into the market and deal solely on meters. What they will do, they will be providing these meters to those who are interested and to the discos. Then they will be given a time frame within which payment can be made to them.
The representative of the MD and CEO of Ibadan Disco, Barrister Shola Adejigbe, who spoke on the topic, is metering a bankable business, reaffirmed that metering remain a bankable business as it will ensure increased revenue for the disco.
Metering as a business is bankable because there is so much need for meters. Even if we are talking of the rural areas, we can buy them the basic prepaid meter, $5 worth, and they'll be metered. Because if we buy them the expensive ones, they can't pay over time. Or what they vend is very low. We now go on to the three-phase meters, the prepaid meters, and even the advanced ones that they call the AMI, Advanced Meter Infrastructure, for high-end customers. So with all of this I've stated, there is plenty of need for meters, money to be made from it. So why am I still not addressing the issue here? Why are there no meters now if it's so bankable and it's so good to do?
An indigenous meter manufacturer, Mr. Kola Balogun, decried the inconsistency in the power policy and the politics involved, which has frustrated meter manufacturers in the country, leaving them with the burden of bank loan. He noted that even the instruction given by NEC to DISCO to patronize the local meter manufacturers has fallen on deaf ears.
Now, if I can produce 20 or 30,000 meters every month, and we have a similar, even if all of them, they are not as big as my factory, they can produce 10,000. Married together, it means we can roll out 50,000 every month. No disco can vow that in a month, they have installed 50,000 meters in their network. It means we are over capacity in terms of the strength.
The next year dialogue is a monthly program designed to have free interaction between government and stakeholders in the power sector on the way forward.
During their recent visit to Nigeria, the managing director of the Commonwealth Electric du Benin, CAB, the Beninois and Togolese Power Company, Mr. Karimu Chabi Sika, and his team paid a courtesy call on the management of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, in Abuja.
Mr. Sika, who commended Nigeria's leadership role in the West Africa Power Pool WAP, informed that his visit, which is within the framework of WAP, was aimed at soliciting cooperation between NERC and his country's newly created electricity regulatory body, Autorité de Régulation de l'Électricité au Benin, ARA. He remarked that since NERC was established over a decade ago, it must have acquired a lot of experience that would be beneficial to the ARA.
Like it is said everywhere in Benin, in Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, it is clear that Nigeria has a leadership role to play in West Africa. With all the reforms going on now, we are sure that we're going to make WAP a very strong institution that will improve electricity. Coming to what concerning regulation, Nigeria is ahead of us, so that's why we are here.
He commended TCN for always being helpful and hospitable whenever CEB team visited Nigeria.
Anytime we come to Nigeria, we always go to TCN because that's our house. I count on your experience. As part of the leadership, TCN has been helping us, so we want to be able to extend the same help, same assistance.
Responding to his request, the vice chairman assured that his commission would gladly offer assistance to the ARA in its identified areas of need, adding that NERC has been contributing immensely towards the growth and development of the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority, EERERA, in Ghana.
In the recent past, there have been discussions for Nigeria to even import power as far away as DR Congo. Nigeria is old for regional cooperation, even beyond ECOWAS. So on behalf of my colleagues, I want to assure you that I will cooperate with our regulator. One other area of possible cooperation is through ARERA. One of our senior staff, management staff, actually just resigned to join ARERA, and we see that as a good platform for regional cooperation.
And that's how we wrap up the program this week. Power Wheel is on air every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays at this time. And a quick reminder that vandalism is an act of economic sabotage and injustice to all. When you destroy electricity equipment, you help in keeping Nigeria in darkness. Desist from vandalism. I am Sheung Olagunju. Thanks for watching.